Tonight, British authorities are seeking the extradition of Andrew and Tristan Tate. The prominent influencers in the so-called manosphere were arrested by federal marshals in Miami. CBS's Christian Benavidez is there with details on the new charges. Christian.
Good evening, Jerika. The Tate brothers were taken into custody as they were heading to a boxing event that one of them was set to co-host here in Miami. They've indicated that they're likely going to fight those extradition charges back to the United Kingdom.
U.S. Marshals arrested notorious social media influencers Andrew and Tristan Tate in Miami on Saturday, stemming from recent developments in the UK. Authorities there, who already had a case against the duo, say 4 more alleged victims of the brothers came forward with accusations of rape, sex trafficking, assault, child and extreme pornography,
bringing the total number of charges faced to 59. The charges relate to 7 victims spanning a period from 2010 to 2017.
The men are part of the so-called manosphere, boasting millions of followers and selling online courses on masculinity. In 2022, the Tate brothers were arrested in Romania on rape, human trafficking, and sexual exploitation charges. Right. The case did not go to trial but remains open. Last year, the brothers left Romania for Florida, and state officials announced a probe into their activity. The Tate brothers deny all allegations. Their attorney tells CBS News the world knows Andrew and Tristan Tate are innocent.
We've yet to be convicted of any crime in our lives ever.
The Tate brothers are...
That's true. They have not been convicted of any crime. They've been accused of, but they weren't convicted of. So basically, when they went to jail in Romania, this is back, I don't know when this happened. This happened like a few years back. They were the #1 Googled person, Andrew Tate. And him and his brother were put into a Romanian jail and held there for like 6, 7, 8 months without any trial, any nothing. They just sat in there. I think eventually they just released him, but they didn't charge him yet. But they didn't say they weren't not going to charge him. They just released him. They were able to leave the country eventually and get back all their properties. And that's the killer part about this. But now, the United Kingdom now wants to press their charges because they had a warrant out for them, but they went back to the United States. Now, those that don't know, Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan, they're both U.S. citizens. Yes, they were born in the United States, but that doesn't mean anything. We have a tight-knit relationship with the United Kingdom. So they want an extradition to there. So they're trying to see how they can get them over there because we have a relationship with the United Kingdom and we send fugitives their way. So I hope they have a speedy trial and this gets over and they don't stay in jail for too long like they did before in Romania. Let's see what this guy's going to stay right here.
Are set to face a judge as early as tomorrow. Legal experts have said that this will likely be a lengthy legal battle over extradition.
And yep, and that's the thing. So they're going to be fighting a legal battle over how long it would take them to get expedited to that country, which is crazy because usually they'll do it quick or they'll just move. But since these are U.S. citizens, I guess, I don't know how that really works, but I ain't no scientist. I ain't no government official. But let's just say this, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give a dire warning to the individuals out there that thinks this is sweet. They're only in this situation because basically they were running like, let's put it in inference. They were running like an OnlyFans for women to talk to men. And they were the managers where they took majority, if not all, the money from the women. But that was the agreement between the men and the women, pretty much. They used that as a gateway to accuse them of sex trafficking. And then he was having sex with one of his girlfriends. And I guess the banter, the sexual banter between the two made it seem as if she's held captive. She later came out saying that that was not true. That's just what they do in the bedroom. And I don't understand how we're prosecuting people based on their fetishes. It's like the same as when they try to prosecute Diddy, not just based on his actions, but based mostly because he had access to a lot of baby oil. He was a freaky dude. And it's like, bro, are we prosecuting the way he freaky or are we prosecuting what he actually did? And that's why I feel about this same situation with Andrew Tate and Tristan. Now, what's next? I guess we wait expedition. If they approve it, maybe Trump pull a slick one out of his pocket, Tell their ass, hey man, leave them alone. And y'all gotta understand too. These men have been speaking out about women and about the actions of the country and how we've been falling into like basically a devilish pit with like relationships and basically the behavior of women and everything like that. And that's been catching a lot of flack, and I understand it. But I tell people, I call it the Great Reset, right? The Great Reset to me, and this is what I call it, is when basically the men and the women, how we have basic gender roles of the man is, holding doors open, paying bills, come home, give the girl the money, she stays at home, be a stay-at-home mother, whatever, raise the kids. The Great Reset that I speak of is the reverse. It's the Great Reverse Reset. And what happens in the Great Reverse Reset is that now the women, also thanks because of the feminist movement, they are now the more breadwinners. They're the ones that are more accomplished. They're the ones that are bringing in the more money. And they're the ones more promiscuous now. And they're not even hiding at this point. And the men are now reverting back to God and staying at home and being chill, not really worried. They're kind of holding themselves, not asking for sex. The women are now begging the men for sex. The women are now taking the men out. The women are now paying the bills or paying half the bills now. So I call it the Great Reset due to that fact. I see that a lot of individuals are now seeing that it's the Great Reverse Set. So now all the women are becoming the men and the men are becoming the women, where the men are staying at home getting mad at women for cheating. They're cheating because of their power, their structure. But I give this, like I was saying before last week, it's really the fault of the men that's simping over the women that gives them a sense of confidence to treat other men or all men. So if one man pays a girl dinner for $500 and then pays for everything else, like, oh girl, here's $500 to shop, here's $500 for dinner, here's $500 for your makeup, she expects that from multiple men. So this reverts back to what I'm saying about Andrew Tate. So once he started to speak out about this is when he became public enemy number one, because he's basically waking up young people to be like, hey man, stop simping over these women. I know this is how you're raised and how you're trained, but this is the right way. It's like an unspoken rule. I'll pay for your dinner, I'll pay for your nails, I'll pay for your kids if you don't mention it to me as a requirement. I do it as if I like you and I do it because I want you. But when you tell me that's my prerequisite, that's when the problem comes. And Andrew Tate was one of those people that's like, hey man, shit, when you're not that guy, you can't make the rules. So if you're a guy on your shit, getting your bread, doing all this masculine shit, yes, you make the rules up. But when you're not, you become the simp that has to pay for her lifestyle. And now she thinks every guy has to live that way. So right now it's the Great Reset. The women are becoming the men. The men are becoming the women ever so slowly, but I see it happening. And you might conflict this to your own personal life. Think about a situation where a woman's paying any bills, when a woman is working more than a man, or she wants him to start cooking. Not saying that men shouldn't cook or change diapers or do things like that. Like, you're going to start seeing women mowing the grass, taking out the trash, picking up the poop from the dog, stuff that guys usually do, fixing on the cars. You know what I'm saying? So when you look into stuff like that, then you realize why Andrew Tate got in trouble, because he's basically telling men to, all right, allow the women to be promiscuous, take your time, only respect the women that are, not. And that's why the Great Reset is happening right now. Either way, what's happening right now is a problem and a detrimental problem for everyone, to be honest, because at the end of the day, they took the guy in. I think he's going to the UK. They're going to prosecute him for rape and sex trafficking. It is what it is. What can you do, man? They're going to try to break your soul if they can't take your money, bro. That's how it works for anybody. So, and the reason why I was speaking on this is because I want all the men out there to realize that stop simping over women. Women is the reason why we don't live eternal life. Sorry, I'm not saying all women is rape, but if you think about biblically, Adam and Eve, God told both of them not to eat that apple now. Eve was told by the serpent, which is the snake, the devil, to eat the apple. But instead of her just eating the apple and killing herself or disobeying God by herself, she convinced the man to do it. So she self-destructed both of them instead of her just taking it on the chin. That's all I'm saying. So in that aspect, yes, Andrew Tate is in the wrong a little bit due to the fact that you used the women to get the money. But, that was an agreement, but that's not how the government sees it. And and now you have women false accusing you and things like that. It's like, bro, sometimes when you stay away from them, they can't accuse you of nothing. You know what I mean? They just, it's like they're the apple. Gee, don't bite it. That being said, it's your boy Angelo Savage. Tell me what y'all think about this in the comments section. Don't forget to like the video for YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to comment. It's your boy Savage, the Savage Night News. Let's go. Peace.